So our positive message is that here is that everybody, many people is getting involved. People are doing their parts for climate change, and we are demanding the politicians to go for the process and behave.
The idea is for the pyramid to sit here throughout the conference, so that every time one of the negotiators walks by, they can be reminded of all the actions that are going on across the world.
But before the negotiators get to see the pyramid, a very special guest is about to arrive. The Executive Secretary of the UNFCCC, Christiana Figueres, is stopping by to show her support and to add her personal message of commitment onto this block.
Governments need to prove that the intergovernmental process can deliver and can come to agreements. So I'm confident that governments realize this and that they will rise to the challenge here in Cancun. The two words that I would like to put here are commitment and compromise.
I think that's entirely appropriate. Thank you very much.
These are the two ingredients that we need in Cancun.
Gracias. And good luck for today. And
good luck for the planet. Not for today. Good luck for the planet. We're all here in it together.
Perfecto.
Commitment and compromise. What do you think about that, Adam? Commitment?
Two scary words. Hey, it's something that's going to be necessary here if we're going to see any progress in the talks. And Christiana Figueres, who's the kind of the boss of the UN climate talks, if you like, she's the executive secretary here. That was her message.
And really good words she chose, I thought.
Yeah, no, they're spot on, I think. We're going to get a bit of an indication now about whether people are optimistic or pessimistic about these talks, and I don't want to give too much away in case Zaina fires me on air again. Just save it to say that
he has been fired before.
I know, 3 times by Zaina. Save it to say that we've got an astonishingly high-tech and rapidly created technological solution.
It's why we've chosen to keep Adam on, really, when I saw his...
because of my tech skills.
Yeah, his tech skills in building barometers.
Yeah, we've built a barometer. So we've got a high-tech barometer, and we've used it to gauge people's optimism within the talks. So UN climate talks, people optimistic, people pessimistic. Let's see.
Okay, and what is this? This is neutral?
Yes. Neutral.
Let it be here. Aiming towards optimistic, but not 100% optimistic.
You know, I want to be positive, but I'm thinking maybe about here is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
You're happy. You're optimistic.
Yes.
That's nice.
I think I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, agree.
Somewhere there.
Well, I mean, from a movement, from the point of view of all of us that are trying to get something done, I would probably put it about there. From the point of view of what I think we're going to get movement-wise from the parties and the decisions, the COP16, I would put it there.
I want this. We're just in the beginning, you know, thinking positive. That's the way forward.
Well, like I'm going to go this way, but it's not because I think that we're going to get this legally binding deal. I just think there'll be little incremental steps that will help us shift in the right direction. But I'm happy and optimistic for that.
I'd love to say we're over here, but I think I'm more realistic, and I'll go for somewhere about here, because I think that if we don't go into the process with high level of optimism and energy, then we're almost certainly going to be back down here. And we maybe just need to revisit what our expectations are. We're not saying that from Cancun we'll achieve the fair and binding deal, but it's likely that we'll make real progress on areas such as funding for adaptation and a new climate fund. So yeah, I think I'll maybe about here.
So a whole range of feelings there, a whole range of optimism versus pessimism.
We should just give our viewers an opportunity to admire the
barometer
that the artwork that I created before we move on.
Comments, please, if
anyone welcome your
would
comments.
like to, congratulate Adam on his
people watching on Justin TV, comment there and we'll try and monitor that. You can also watch us on oneclimate.net/Cancun and on websites around the world who are embedding us. And if you'd like to embed this channel on your website, you can do so by visiting oneclimate.net/Cancun. www.OneClimate.org/Cancun and getting the link, which is on Get the Video Live on your site. Free, do it, spread the word. And Twitter, #OneClimate, we'll monitor that as well. So send us your comments, let us know what you think, and we'll respond to them.
So, Adam, how much do you think the varied feelings towards Cancun has to do with Copenhagen?
I think we should explain Copenhagen for viewers joining us. For viewers who are just joining us, Copenhagen was this kind of the equivalent talks last year, exactly a year ago, and there was a lot more hype around them. People thought that these were going to solve climate change. Like it was a massive, phenomenal occasion, kind of. Beyond words, really. You had over 100 world leaders come together for the first time, unprecedented. Never had that many world leaders come together to talk about climate change, recognising that this is an absolutely critical issue for our planet. And there were a lot of high hopes, a lot of expectations. I think the protests outside saw about 100,000 people.
And quite amazing as well to see so many people gathered for the same reason, to talk about the same thing. People who really believe that this is a big issue. So a lot of hype, a lot of hope, and then the talks didn't really live up to expectations. Lots of people were very critical of the way that the big countries dealt with it, and so I think you say there's this kind of big swing in the barometer. Some people are much more optimistic than others, and I think it is in part due to Copenhagen. And we were asking people specifically, do they think this process is something that they can feel optimistic about? And so it depends how you look at it. Some people will look at it and say, wow, look at all these people who are really dedicating their lives and trying really hard to solve this issue, and you've got to have hope and you've got to have faith in people's ability to get the work done. Other people will think back to Copenhagen and maybe are still suffering a bit of a hangover from those talks. We should take the barometer out for a spin tomorrow again,
We should take it out. Okay, maybe we'll make it a daily feature. I saw a request come in.
If anyone out there can build a better barometer and go out and ask
I find that slightly insulting.
Go out and ask people how they...
You're trying to turn this into some kind of new craze, get people using our cardboard barometers. Anyway,
just use a barometer to express how you feel at all times. I think it's good. Where is the barometer?
Zaina's invitation for us to go out and about using the barometer makes me think we should give people a bit of a context as to where we are. We're coming to you live from the United Nations climate talks in Cancun in Mexico.
Doesn't look like we're in Cancun right now.
No, we're in a warehouse, but I promise you it's in Cancun.
Honest,
it's in Cancun. It's in Mexico, and these talks are taking place over quite a few buildings. And Zaina.
And also, it's not just Adam and I here in Cancun. The OneClimate team is much bigger than that.
Yeah, we've got people covering the talks in the delegates hall up the road, and we're going to be getting updates throughout the week from them. They're going to come and tell us.
I'm sure everyone will get to meet them as well later on.
Yeah, definitely. You get to see what we should introduce them. Joanne, Sarah, and Gabrielle. They're covering the talks with the delegates, following the negotiators, and they'll be able to tell you which countries have been good and which countries have been bad and which countries have been worst.
But to give everyone watching us a sense of the location, and to prove that we're in Mexico.
Prove that we're in Mexico, prove we're in Cancun.
Jamie, are we ready? Here's a little video. Each day starts with the bus ride to the Cancun Messe. Here, all civil societies are gathered, and the One World booth is one of them. This is the COP where we get our coffees and brownies. Another bus ride takes us to the Moon Palace, where the plenaries are held and the working group meetings. Being quite adventurous, I went totally off the map and found my way to the climate camp.
Hey, whoa. Hang on, hey.
Rack up the mile. This is an unofficial venue, open to the public, where the activists are based. I think we should cut briefly into this.
Jamie's got much to say. What are you on? How long we got? Pedometer.
A taxi ride home probably brings us closest to the real Cancun.
The music, Mexican!
Yeah, in about 20 minutes, yeah? Okay, perfect.
If the talks go anywhere as fast as the driving, we will probably be fine.
So just to respond to a quick question or a quick comment I've seen come in, it says barometer t-shirts for all. So you might have mocked my barometer, but actually it's a cardboard sensation.
I think it is a sensation, but if it was a t-shirt, where should it be pointing?
That's a bit too permanent, perhaps. I've decided that tomorrow, whenever it's you that's talking to the camera, I'm just going to hold the barometer and move the face to smiley to happy, depending on what I think. Think what you're doing.
Now he's stealing my ideas.
Anyway, I think what we can take from Zaina's report of the Mexico and Cancun, the travelling around town, is that distance is an important concept, and there's a long way to go in these talks. And you might want to explain what that is. You've just shaken at the camera.
No.
No? Okay, I'll explain. It's a pedometer.
Yes.
And for the benefit of people like me who didn't really know what it was at the start of the week, it measures how many steps you take.
Yes.
And we're going to find out in a couple of minutes why we are
because people walk a lot in these talks.
Yeah.
And they talk a lot in these walks.
People, you've lost it. You need lunch and dinner. People talk a lot. There's a lot of talking. These conferences have been happening.
Yes.
Conferences have been happening for decades. By the way, Jeff says he wants a movable arrow in the centre of his t-shirt.
In the t-shirt.
Possibly that's an art and craft thing, which is maybe beyond even my abilities.
You should try.
Going back swiftly to our pedometer, people talk a lot at these conferences. They've been going on for almost 2 decades now. It's a massive international effort to solve climate change.
Some organisations who come here a lot find that slightly frustrating.
I think lots of people find it frustrating, even if you appreciate that actually this is a massively important issue and it's not going to be solved in 2 weeks. It's still painful the fact that the progress is so slow and that we can't find the consensus and compromise and commitment that we need, as we pointed out earlier.
But Greenpeace have a plan, don't they?
Greenpeace have a plan. They're going to try and measure how far people are walking and whether that correlates to how much they're talking. Here's a little report to show you what we're rabbiting on about.
At these COP events, you see lots of people walking around. But in Cancun, you'll see them walking around with little green things attached to them.
Could you tell me a little bit about what this is about?
Okay, this is just a competition that we're doing to see who walks more for the climate. It's been 7 COPs since the Kyoto Protocol entered into action, and for these 5 years people have been walking a lot around here. They have been talking a lot, but it's empty words sometimes. So now we want to we want them to step it up and walk the talk. So we're distributing pedometers. So that's the whole purpose of this competition. It's supposed to be something fun, something to engage people and see at the end which delegation is going to walk more for the climate. And on the end of each week, on every Friday, we're going to publish at the ECO which delegations walk the most and compare to the progress they're making on the negotiations.
And you're calling on delegates to walk more, talk less. What are your hopes? How optimistic are you about this conference?
We hope the delegates here are going to walk the talk they have been talking for the last years, where they say they want to get to a great protocol and they want to have finance and more ambitious targets, but they don't actually do it. We want them to remove these stumbling blocks out of the way and agree to crucial things like a finance fund for the developing countries. We want them to agree on a mechanism to protect forests, and we need them also to agree to boost the targets they have now, because what they have pledged on the Copenhagen Accord is just too low.
The race to the future is on. And Adam's got a head start.
So how much have you walked so far, Adam?
11,919.
11,000?